Continuing in the geometry unit, we are now looking at perimeter and circumference. And before we look at that, we're going to look at some basic figures or polygons that they're also known as. So the first is a square. A square is 4 equal sides. Also 4 sides is a rectangle where the length is the same size and the width is the same size. And then another 4-sided polygon. These are all called polygons. If you'll notice that we don't have, like, all 4 sides are different. This is called a quadrilateral. Then we also have a 3-sided, which is your triangle. Another one is, well, let's see, I'll do it upside down, kind of. This is 5 sides, is a pentagon. And then last that I have room for is, whoops, that's not very good, sorry, hexagon. And that's 6 sides. Of course, there's others, an octagon is 8 sides and so forth, but I'm not going to draw pictures of all of those. Okay, so what we're going to start out talking about is how to find the perimeter. Well, we first have to know what the perimeter is. And the perimeter of a figure is the distance around. So if I looked at all of these up here, and if I wanted to know the distance around, basically I'm asking, if I were to walk around each one of these, how far did I walk? So it only is talking about, perimeter is the outer edges. It's not talking about what's inside, it is the outer edges. Okay? All right, well, how do we find the perimeter? So to find the perimeter, you will add the lengths of all the sides, and then don't forget to label your answer. Okay, so here's an example. So in this example, we have a rectangle, and we're given that this is 70 feet and this is 95 feet. Well, I would say the most common error some of my students make is they'll say the perimeter, oh, I take 70 plus 95. And they'll add those two and tell me that's the perimeter. Well, the perimeter is adding all sides. Here's your 70, here's your 95. You've only added 2 sides. That would be if I walked here to here and then I did not walk these other 2 sides. So we have to include all sides. Well, this is my length, which means this length is the same. So this is 95 feet. Here is my width, which means this is my width. So it is 70 feet. So then, if I start at 70, 95, I need to add another 70 and another 95. That would then include all 4 sides. So just remember, you need to have, I have 4 numbers because I have 4 sides. Now, since the length is the same and the width is the same, you could calculate it as there are 2 sides that are 95 feet plus 2 sides that are 70 feet. So when you calculate that into your calculator, whether you do 70 plus 95 plus 70 plus 95, or you do it by this addition and multiplication, you're going to get an answer of 330 feet. Now, perimeter. Where is perimeter used in real life? All right, so I'll come up here and write it. This would be if you were going to fence in your backyard. You would need to know the perimeter. If you were going to install baseboards in a room in your house. Baseboards is what goes along the bottom on the wall near the floor. Another example would be if you were to install crown molding. Crown molding is a decorative strip that is installed between your ceiling and your wall. So it's what's close up to the ceiling. This is up to or down by the floor. So those are some real life examples for which you would use this. Okay. Sometimes you want to know the distance around a circle. So if I wanted to take this circle, the distance around, when it's with a circle, although it's like perimeter, they call it the circumference. Now, these two formulas, circumference, okay, so that's the perimeter of a circle, they give you these formulas, which are the same as these formulas. Now, if you'll notice, it gives pi. All right, so you actually have a pi button on your calculator, but in WebAssign, it will have you use 3.14 in your calculation. So everywhere you see a pi, we're going to put 3.14. And then you'll see this R and you'll see this D. Okay, you need to review this. R stands for radius. D stands for diameter. All right, so if we're looking at a circle, diameter and radius deal with the center of the circle. So from the center of the circle to the outer edge is the radius. From one edge through the center to the other edge is considered the diameter. So if you were told that the diameter is 10 inches, the radius would be half that, or 5 inches. Or if you were told that the radius was 7 inches, the diameter would be double that, or 14 inches. So this is a little bit of a review. So let's come over here and let's find the circumference of this circle. All right, so I'm going to give you that the diameter is 7 inches. All right, so notice we have two formulas. One of them has the diameter in it, one of them has the radius, and the one with the radius also has the 2. If you're given the diameter, then you're going to use this formula. So I'm going to use that formula, and we're going to say circumference equals, and in place of pi, I'm going to put 3.14 times the diameter was given as 7 inches. So I'm going to go and I'm going to multiply 3.14 times 7, and I get 21.98. And then don't forget to always include the units, which is inches. Now, I also want to calculate it using this formula and show that it is the same answer. So in this one, I would need the radius, which would be from the center to the outer edge. Well, the radius is half of the diameter. So the diameter is 7, so I'm going to take half of that. So if you go to your calculator and you take half of 7, you get 3.15, not 15, sorry, 3.5 inches. Okay, so now I'm going to use that formula. So circumference equals, whoops, goodness, so sorry. Okay, my formula. Circumference equals 2 times pi, 3.14, times radius, and we just found the radius to be 3.5 inches. So if you'll go to your calculator and do 2 times 3.14 times 3.5, we get the exact same answer, 21.98. inches. So which formula do you use? It is determined upon whether they give you radius or they give you diameter. All right, so now we're going to take perimeter and circumference, and we are going to look at application problems. Okay, so here's my picture, and I want to find the perimeter, which that means if I was to walk around the distance all the way around, that would be, I want to know what's highlighted in yellow. Well, they tell me the length is 12 centimeters. If this is 12 centimeters, then this has to be 12 centimeters. And they tell me the width is 4 centimeters. All right, well, that's the easy part. So I can go, okay, these three sides, it's easy. I'm going to walk this 12 centimeters plus this 4 centimeters plus this 12 centimeters. But now we have to figure out how to find the distance of this right here. Now, if you'll look at it, it's half a circle. Okay? So when we deal with circle, we're going to deal with the circumference. So we're going to have to apply one of these two formulas. Okay, well, I'm going to think through that. I need the diameter or the radius. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and complete this circle best I can. That's supposed to be a circle. All right, here's the middle of my circle. And I go, okay, well, here would be the diameter of my circle. Is there any way I can know how far it is from here to here? Well, it's the same distance as this to this. So this has to be 4 centimeters. So that tells me the diameter is 4 centimeters. Okay, so I've added these three sides. Now I'm going to add half of my circle, and they give me diameter. So I'm going to use this formula, pi 3.14 times diameter is 4. And I can put all of that into my calculator. 12 plus 4 plus 12 plus 1/2, open parentheses, 3.14 times 4, close parentheses, and I get 34.28. So the perimeter is 34.28 centimeters. So if I walked from here all the way back to where I started, I've walked that far. All right, we're going to look at another picture. And I want you to find the perimeter, or in this case, it's going to be more the circumference, because we're dealing with some circles or half circles, okay? So the perimeter, or the distance around, would be if you walked all of these loop-de-loops. Okay? All right, so we're going to have to do a little bit of thinking here. Now, it tells me the sides are 6 millimeters. What that's talking about is, whoops, see if my pen works. Whoops, that pen's not working. All right, so it's telling me that this side right here is 6 millimeters, which means this side is 6 millimeters. So if you'll notice, we in essence have a square in the middle. Okay? So Sorry you can't see that very well. All right, well here's what I want you to visualize. What if I walked from here to here? That would be kind of like this. And then I walked this, looky there. That completes, these two make a full circle. And from here to here, it tells me that this is 6. So lo and behold, they gave me the diameter is 6. So that's taking care of these two. Now I'm going to look at these two. Well, from here to here, and then this one from here to here. So in essence, we have 2 full circles. And we know that the diameter of each circle is 6. So to find, in this case, the circumference or perimeter, we have 2 full circles. We're given the diameter, so I'm going to use this formula. 3.14 times diameter, which is 6. So I'm going to put that into my calculator. 37.68. And then don't forget the units, millimeters. Now, that's a correct answer. What if somebody would have looked at this and said, hey, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 half circles. All right, so my circumference or perimeter will be 4 half circles. And of course the circle is pi times diameter. So if you'll notice, if I calculate that, 4 times 1/2, open parentheses, 3.14 times 6, I get the same answer, 37.68 millimeters. So regardless of whether you look at it as 2 full circles or 4 half circles, you're going to get the exact same answer. Okay. Wall-to-wall carpeting is installed in a room. Okay, I'm going to draw the room. Here's the room. It's 12 feet long. So if this is 12 feet, this has to be 12 feet, and it's 10 feet wide. The edges of the carpet are nailed to the floor. So when they install carpet, they put a nail strip down the edges of the floor like this. So since we're talking about the distance around, we know we're dealing with perimeter. How many feet must the carpet be nailed down? Okay, well, since we know we're dealing with perimeter, we know we have 12 plus 10 plus 12 plus 10, or you could look at it 2 sides that are 12 feet long plus 2 sides that are 10 feet long. So you do this addition in your calculator, or if you calculate it this way, you're going to get 44 feet. All right, so that's how much that's going to be nailed down. Now, I want to take this same room and I want to think through, what if we were installing crown molding? Now, crown molding is what is decorative, that is around the edges of the ceiling connected to the wall. Well, the edges to the ceiling connected to the wall is going to be just like doing the same distance. So if you're thinking of this instead of a floor, think of this as your ceiling. So you're still going to go 12 plus 10 plus 12 plus 10. So your perimeter would still be 44 feet. Now, what if we were talking about baseboard? So baseboards. All right, so baseboards, think of this as a floor again. Baseboards are what goes around the edge of the bottom of the wall near the floor. But with baseboards, you have to be careful because you never install baseboards across wherever your doorway is, okay? So you have to be sure that you consider the doorway. So we know the perimeter around all 4 walls is 44 feet, but we do not want to put any baseboard across the doorway. Otherwise, people would trip on it as they walked in. So let's assume that the doorway is 2 feet wide. So we're going to take away the 2 feet of the doorway. So for baseboards, you would only need 42 feet. So crown molding would be 44, baseboards would be 42. All right, so you now have a web assignment over perimeter and circumference over 12.2.